Chapter 5 to 6. During the months, Eren and Historia have been secretly training their own soldiers outside of the military faction. And with Gloria Tiber's help, they are all trained with the weapons provided by anti-Marleyan volunteers. So far their training grounds are located in Shiganshina and the forest near Rice Farm, and they are also hiding from the military police, which works well because of Eren's powers to wipe out other people's memories. And right now the port has finished, and the friendly nation of Eldia, Hizuru, has sent a ship with Lady Ajimabito to the island. In the meeting room, she takes out a crest and asks Mikasa, "Do you recognize this family crest?" Mikasa gasps as she holds her wrist. "That's... Show it, Mikasa," Eren says. "But my mom said to keep it a secret." Mikasa says, "You showed it to us when we were little. It's a secret meant for today," Eren says. Mikasa sighs as she takes off her bandage and shows the symbol, much to the Hizuru's surprise. "Before she died, this symbol was passed down to me from my mother. She said I should pass it on to my child." Kiyomi walks over to her and places her hands on Mikasa's shoulders while she hunches over. What an admirable deed. Over a century ago, the shogun Ajimabitos descended from had a son. He was on friendly terms with King Fritz and often came to parody. After the Great Titan War, Hizuru was defeated and in disarray. In the confusion, a child of the shogunate was left behind on the island. "You're the lost descendant of our nation's ruler. You're the hope of Hizuru." Mikasa is shocked. Her eyes are wide as she clutches her wrist with the other hand tightly. During a break in the meeting, some members of the military express their doubts. "I still don't get what a nation is. Anyways, now we've got leverage with Hizuru. What if it's a trap? I suppose we should ask Yelena's opinion." "No. That's exactly what they want. One thing is for certain," Pixis says. "The sea has joined us to the world, but we're still a child learning to walk. We should sit quiet and hear what others have to say." At the same time, Historia turns to Mikasa. "Hey, why'd you only show Eren that symbol?" "Huh. You've never taken off your wrist wrap for anyone," Historia says. "Well, that's... You seem happy," Eren says. "I am. You, Eren, and I were both born with a heavy burden to bear," Historia says. "There's nobody else I'd rather rely on." "Yeah," Mikasa says with a slight frown. "It's a historic day for both our nations. Today is only possible thanks to the one who brought us together, Zeke Yeager." In the meeting, Kiyomi says, "After meeting with him in secret, we agreed to an arrangement under the condition we were able to meet Lady Mikasa." She shows the ODM gear in front of the table. "Zeke Yeager said if we cooperate with him, our nation may just helm an industry that restores it to its former glory. And yet, he hasn't even prospected your reserves. But a resource like that in this age of modernization would be worth its weight in jewels and treasure. So I'm being used as a pretext?" Mikasa thinks with anger. Yelena said the talks would go well since the Ajimabitos are money grubbers. Hang thinks. "After all, it's not worth the risk of coming here unless money is involved." Pixis thinks. "And? What exactly is the arrangement you have with Zeke Yeager?" Historia asks. "As you know, Zeke Yeager has a secret plan in mind. To achieve it, Hizuru's cooperation is needed. Here are his 3 points to protect parity from the rumbling." Kiyomi says. "First is the test run of the rumbling to release a sample of its power and show the world its devastation. Next is Hizuru's cooperation. Your military must be strengthened until the use of the rumbling isn't necessary. And lastly, the founding titan and a titan with royal blood must be passed down. That's the third point." Eren glares at the paper as she says this. His teeth are clenched together as Mikasa's eyes are wide while Kiyomi continues. "Since Zeke's time is almost up, he will pass on the beast titan to someone in parity, and that person has to spend 13 years to bear as many children as possible. Even if weaponry advances, the rumbling itself is powerful." Hang thinks. "Unless we get rid of it, inheriting titans will continue for generations to come. Is it right for us to push this problem on our descendants to save ourselves now? Of course not, but... Very well. I agree to inherit the beast titan, as long as the rumbling is necessary for our continued existence," Historia says. Kiyomi's eyes widen and she looks away with a sad look. The others have the same look on their faces. Mikasa looks around and then at Historia. "Historia," she whispers but gets cut off by Eren, who suddenly stands up and places his hands on the table. He glares at the table while he speaks. "After years of getting trampled on, now we've got to breed like livestock? If that's the price of getting to live, Zeke Yeager can take his damn plan and shove it," Eren says, which causes both Historia and Mikasa to look at him. "It's too dangerous to gamble on having the rumbling. We need to spend our time exploring what other options are available to us." Historia has tears in her eyes at his words. She knows that Eren loves her so much that he won't let her be in danger. And it is also a good thing that the meeting goes well than expected. After the meeting is over, Eren and Historia are now at the rice farm. Eren is angry and he says, "The military police is moving forward with a plan to turn you into a titan and feed Zeke to you once he's here on the island. If anything, they are reducing your life to 13 years. I'm not going to let them happen." "I know you won't," Historia says. "And I'm really grateful for you to stand up for me like this. Still, didn't we already decide to have a child because it will be Ymir?" "Yeah. Ymir is waiting for us to free her," Eren says. "But we have to make sure that we fight for our freedom." Just then, a small wagon arrives, and Gloria walks out of it with another girl. Gloria says, "Your Highness, I would like to introduce you to her." The girl bows and says, "My name is Aya Newman. My family is the royal family of the female titan. I heard everything from Lady Gloria here, and I am here to help you out." "So you're the royal family of the female titan," Historia says. "I heard you've been living in Hizuru. How are the Eldians treated there?" "Eldians in our home are still being discriminated against, but not as awful as the other nations when it comes to law. But when it comes to financial and other resources, our Eldians are poor and won't be able to get a nice job. I only made it as one of the officers in Hizuru because of Ms. Tiber here. I can fly a flying boat if you want me to." "That will be helpful," Eren says. With this, 6 of the 9 families are united. And it is also fortunate that the other 3 families are located on the island as well. Aya says, "However, I also heard that you've acquired the female titan. May I ask where it may be?" Eren says, "She locks herself inside of the crystal for 3 years. I could break her out, but that will also give away the fact that I have full access to founding titan to the military, which won't be a good thing." "I see. I can actually wait for the day when you reveal the truth so I could get what belonged to our family back." Aya says, "I will also teach the battle style of Hizuru to your own faction of soldiers. Is that fine for you?" "I'm not sure if my soldiers are keen on more training since they've already trained a lot, but I would like to try out the battle style of Hizuru," Eren says. While Eren and the others are training their soldiers, they also manage to get more soldiers to their side. The military police that guards the rice farm is on her side, and most of the new trainees are willing to help Eren. Since there are no titans around the area, so the scouts are usually helping the anti-Marley volunteers with their construction, Eren is fortunate enough to be with Gloria and her follower side, and they also go from district to district to help with the medical problems. Because of how Eren is treating their sickness and injuries, he has been loved by the citizens of all areas. Eren sighs at how the people are now looking at him. A lot of years ago, they are terrified of him because he can turn into a titan, but now they like him not only because he has talented medical skills, but he has the founding titan who will destroy the enemies outside of the island. Eren also needs to ask them to stay low because he doesn't want the military to know the truth. Back with the scouts, when the 104th are gathering together, Jean says, "By the way, did you notice that Jaeger has been spending a lot of his time with the queen?" Connie says, "Yeah, most of the time he's spending at her orphanage. He said that he was there to help her take care of the homeless children. But it seems like there is something more." Sasha says, "Armin, Mikasa, you are Eren's best friends. Did Eren tell you anything about what he's doing there?" Armin shakes his head and says, "I don't know. Every time I tried to sneak on Eren about what he was doing, I always lost sight of him in the end." "What about you, Mikasa?" Mikasa frowns and says, "I was the same, although I did manage to see him talking to Queen Historia, and the 2 of them seem to be happy about something. Not to mention that there is also one anti-Marleyan soldier. She seems to be close to Eren as well." "You mean Gloria, right? We were given the task to help the anti-Marleyan volunteers, and Eren was paired up with her under Commander Hang and Yelena's orders." "What's the matter with that?" "For some reason, she gave me a weird feeling," Mikasa says. "I just hope she isn't going to make a move on Eren." "Come on, you're overthinking. She's a Marleyan. And I don't think she's Eren type of girl." Jean says, "Whose type of girl?" They jump to see Eren walking towards them. Armin says, "Eren, we're just talking about the volunteer that has been helping you, Gloria." "Oh, her? She did help me a lot with medical knowledge. Marley's medicine is different from parody after all," Eren says. "Is that so?" Armin says, "By the way, I heard you were just back from Stohis." "Yeah. I treated a patient who had a stomachache," Eren says as he decides to tell them about something they don't understand. During a ceremony, Flock is one of the people who are guarding Yelena, and thus because of it, Yelena manages to secretly meet Eren in Shiganshina. Besides Eren, Peter and Odom are also there. Yelena asks, "They are. Don't worry. They are the soldiers working for me and the queen," Eren says. "They don't belong to the military because I was secretly training them here." "I see. I'm here to inform you about Zeke's secret plan," Yelena says. Eren already knows what the plan is, and both Peter and Odom are trying not to show their hatred towards the plan itself. But at the same time, Flock is also curious about what Eren will do, and he also stays and hears from behind the door. Eren, the only way we can save both Eldia and the world is to follow the euthanasia plan. We'll blend Zeke's spinal fluid together with the wine and we'll send it to the higher-ups who will oppose us. Yelena says, Zeke believes in you, and I do too. Eren nods with still no emotions, and after the meeting is over, Eren asks Flock to stay while the others are leaving with Yelena. Eren asks, how much of our conversation did you've overheard? Almost everything. To think this is what they are planning this whole time. Flock says with slight anger. Eren sighs and says, Flock, I think it is time I tell you the truth. A truth that not even the scouts know about this. Flock stares at Eren with surprise and Eren says, as you can see, all of the residents here in Shiganshina are relatives of the soldiers that both I and the Queen are training with. In other words, they don't believe in either garrison, scouts, or military police. Are you serious about that? What are you going to achieve if you do this? Flock asks in surprise. The truth is, I have full control of the founding Titan, and I'm not going to die because of the curse. We actually don't need Zeke's Titan to activate the rumbling. Eren says, if that's the case, why don't you just activate it right now? Flock asks with a curious tone. The timing isn't right.
Eren replies.
The moment I activate the rumbling, I'm going to use that to destroy the world outside of parity. This causes Flock to widen his eyes in horror. Then he asks, are you trying to get me hanged, Eren? Going to war is one thing, but destroying the entire world outside of parity. That's only something a devil can do. You expect me to believe you when you couldn't even sacrifice Armin for Erwin. You're right. You don't have to believe me, but even you understand there's too much at stake. One of my abilities of the Attack Titan is that it can see the future. 1 year later, all the nations outside of the world are going to declare war on our island, which means all of us are going to be killed because of it. Then why haven't you told the others about this? Flock asks. Because they won't be able to do what's necessary. All they care about is trying to negotiate and hope that the world will listen to us. Eren says, honestly, I'm not sure someone as sentimental as you is up to the task. But we can't just hope for a miracle either. No matter how you look at it, us or them. Either way, you're talking about mass slaughter. Once it starts, there is no turning back. Eren, can you truly commit such an unforgivable sin? I will do anything even if it means the safety of Eldia. If being a devil is the only way to make a change, then I'll gladly become one. Eren says, so what do you say, Flock? Are you going to stay at the side of the military who won't be doing anything but save their asses? Or will you join us and the Queen, creating a better future for those we care about? Flock stares at Eren before reaching out his hand, and he asks, so what should I do? We've already had our people hiding in the anti-Marley volunteers. They will continue to persuade the other volunteers to join our cause instead of Yelena's. While we're doing the rumbling outside the world, we will also need to deal with the military. Historia is our rightful queen, but even now she still doesn't have power and people still treat her as a puppet queen. I'm not going to sacrifice her no matter what. Flock can only stare at Eren with shock, and Eren says, and Flock, when the rumbling is in action, I will also take away the abilities of the Titans from Reiner and the others. I want you to be the new armored Titan. Me? A Titan? Flock asks. Why me? Because of your blood. The armored Titan originally belonged to your family until Marley took them away for their slaughter of Eldians like us. Eren says, the reason why Eldia is in ruins is because of the conflict between the 9 families, which means all of our families. However, we're not going to make the same mistakes as in the past. Flock says, very well, I'll inherit the armored Titan. After that meeting, Flock would sometimes be in Eren's place to check out the soldiers in Shiganshina, and he will also help him recruit new soldiers for his own military faction. It's a good thing that nobody has suspected a thing. After the graduation of the 108th Training Corps, Eren also invites a girl named Louise into the Queen and his own faction, because she has the royal blood of the Cart Titan. Now the only one left is the Beast Titan. Aya says to Eren after they finish practicing the Hizuru style of battling. Didn't you have a friend Sasha who is from the Browse family? Yeah, I'm going to talk to her, but I don't know if she's willing to help us out, considering she, like me, is too close with the others who won't be able to do a thing. I see, but you can try to use the Founding Titan's powers to manipulate her if you want to. Right? Gloria asks. I would never do that to my friends. Eren says with a stern tone. But if things are going out of hand, then I might be going to do it. When Eren meets with Sasha, Aya and Historia are also with him as they are now at the rice farm. Sasha asks, what do you want to talk about? And who is she? This is Aya Newman. She is one of the people that Lady Ajimabito brings to help us in Parody Island.
Historia introduces.
You see, the reason we're here is that we need to talk to you about something. Eren says. Something that not even Mikasa, Armin, and the others know. This causes Sasha to be scared a little, and she asks, what do you want? Historia says, there is a trait of Eren's attacking Titan that nobody knows. That is the ability to see the future. A year later, Eren witnessed your death. You were shot by the enemy forces in Marley. This causes Sasha to widen her eyes in horror. She says, "No way. Is that true? Am I going to die? I mean, I don't want to die." "You are not going to die. I will make sure of that." Eren says, "The reason we're fighting the enemies is that they are going to declare war on us. Every one of them refuses our negotiations and they want to kill all of us. The only way to stop them is to unleash all of the colossal titans in the walls and let them trample the outside world. But that will mean all of the people out there are going to be killed. There is no way we can let that happen," Sasha says. Aya says, "This is going to happen. It is either us or them. Nobody likes this, but we have no other choice. The warning for the other nations started 100 years ago, so they probably have something to prepare for the rumbling to ensure their survival. And the reason why we tell you this is that you're a royal family of the Beast Titan." "Me? Royal family of the Beast Titan? But isn't the Beast Titan going to be fed to Historia?" Sasha asks. "And I am not going to let that happen. That's why we might need to do a second revolution." Eren says, "And we will need your help. Think about your parents, think about Kaya, Nicolo, and those you care about. Do you want them to die? Or do you want them to live happy lives?" While Eren and Historia are still trying to persuade Sasha, Eren uses the Founding Titan's powers to let Sasha see the memories of the future. She knows how Connie and Armin kill Samuel and Daz, and how Connie and Jean blamed Eren for her death while working with her real murderers, Reiner and the others, and how they stopped the rumbling only for the world to be destroyed. The last straw is the death of Kaya and her parents.
Eren.
"I still think what you will do is not right, but if I don't help you, the memories you gave me will happen, right?" Sasha asks. "Yes, and because I saw those memories and learned what Mikasa and Armin would do, that's why I've been acting a bit off around them. I wanted to make sure the pain of being betrayed is becoming smaller, even though I know it is inevitable."
Eren.
Sasha says with a quiet tone. "So what do you want me to do? When you are alone, I want you to help us with our own soldiers in the Shiganshina." Historia says. "The anti-Marleyan volunteers have put Zeke's spinal fluid inside the wines to serve them to those who oppose them." "What? I didn't drink the wine, have I?" Sasha asks. "Nobody has drunk it yet because the plan hasn't started yet." Eren says, "Even if Zeke manages to scream and turn them into pure titans, I still have full access to the Founding Titan and I will be the one who controls them. Of course, I can also return them back to normal as well." "Thank goodness," Sasha sighs. "And about my death scene, how are you going to prevent it?" "About that, here is what I'm planning," Eren says as he talks to Sasha about the plan, but everyone widens their eyes after hearing what Eren says. Historia asks, "Are you serious, Eren? Are you sure there is no other option?" "I choose this because I trust Sasha." "Although Sasha, are you willing to help us with it?" Eren asks. "If you don't want to, you can just say so. It's fine. I think I can handle this," Sasha says. And Aya says, "The 9 families are now united.